try this. I just want to invite you all to join us at our meetings at 7 o'clock at the Potpourri Mall, which is 241 King Street in Northampton. We want to thank the Mass Nurses Association for letting us use their meeting room. Each month we deliver a letter to our Congressman Neal, urging his support for specific legislation. This month we're asking him to support H.R. 6505, which would allow the government to negotiate lower drug prices. I don't think anybody, at least here, would argue with that. It is a bill out there. I'm not sure anyone in Mass. It's brand new that's just come out, and we're asking Congressman Neal to sign on to it, which he has not done yet. So we'll be delivering the letter on Wednesday. There's a copy of the letter over at the table. Anyone who would like to add their name to it, that'd be delightful, and I will type it in when we deliver it to him. Again, it's H.R. 6505. There's also a sign-up sheet to get into our database. You can do that. We'd love to get your information. We'll try not to harangue you or send you too many emails. PDA, as most of you know, is a federal political action committee. We do not endorse candidates for state or local governments by law. In Massachusetts, we've endorsed 3 candidates. Our good friend and advisory board member, Jim McGovern, who is back here. And those of us who are in CD1 are very jealous of you who are in CD2. That is another, I won't embarrass Jim. We've also endorsed Tahira Amatul-Wadad, who is a new progressive friend, who is running for Congress against Congressman Neal, and also Senator Elizabeth Warren, who is running for re-election as U.S. Senator. These are great candidates. They need our money and they need our time. Although we cannot officially endorse, we urge members of our and friends to work for progressive state and local candidates, a number of whom are here. We know that this all demands time, but I think if we read the papers and see what's going on in the United States right now, we realize it's time to be engaged. Lastly, as we noted, this is not a fundraiser. It's just to have fun and get together with each other. However, it does cost us money, so if anyone wants to throw a few dollars or many into the tip jar, that would be great. So without further ado, there are a number of people who are signed up to speak. We're asking them to limit it to a couple minutes apiece. If there's anyone who is not on the list who wants to get on the list, that would be fine. The first one, it's Jay Gonzalez. Is Jay here yet? He's not here. All right, well. Progressive Democrats of Massachusetts. Oh, Corinne.
I don't want that. Thank you.
And I think just don't get too close to the microphone.
Hello everyone, my name is Corinne Wingard. I'm a member of the leadership team of Progressive Democrats of Massachusetts. And I would like everybody, before they leave today, to have a copy of the Baker dossier. This is a 2-page summary of the dossier that PDM has worked months to develop, of all the reasons we do not want that man to continue as our governor. And on the back, you can tell I have pretty strong feelings about that. On the back, there's a link to the website that has 23 pages of documented source information on the things Baker has and has not done for our state. So I will be walking around. Anybody who'd like to join the email list for Progressive Dems of Mass is more than welcome to. I'm also a member of PDA and also a member of Progressive Mass. And out here, I've been talking with Tony Mack and Jonathan Cohn of Progressive Mass that out here we want the 2 statewide organizations focused on progressive issues and candidates to work together. So you'll be hearing more, and please make sure you get a copy of the Baker dossier so to have the arguments and be able to say the reasons that he's, he may be popular with some people, but we do not need him to be our governor. Thank you.
Thanks, Corinne. Next is Diane from MNA. Diane?
Right here.
Hi, I'm Diane Jensen-Olszewski. I'm a field organizer with the Mass Nurses Association, here to talk about ballot question 1. For those of you that are not familiar with it, what it will do is set maximum limits to the numbers of patients nurses can care for in all areas of the hospital. The only place that's in the law now is in the intensive care unit, and nurses across the Commonwealth, when they're surveyed year after year after year, say in overwhelming numbers that they are being routinely asked to care for many too many very sick people, sometimes double and triple what studies have shown are safe. So we need people to sign up to Canvas, to phone bank. I have a phone bank every Wednesday at the Pioneer Valley Central Labor Council from 4 to 7 p.m. And there's one in Northampton from 4 to 7 on Wednesday evening at the Mass Nurses office on 241 King Street. We canvass every weekend, and we canvass 2 weeknights, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Springfield, Holyoke, Chicopee. We're doing mostly gateway cities. Also, if you'd like a lawn sign, you can sign up for a lawn sign and take some lit. Please take a button, because I find wherever I go, I can start a conversation about this. People want to know what it's about, and many voters are confused by what the Hospital Association is putting out, that nurses are not for this. Those are
TV ads.
Those are nurse managers. The ANA is a separate organization. MNA broke away from them. ANA is nurse managers. They're bureaucrats. They don't save your life after surgery. So we're hoping that you'll talk to your friends and family and take buttons, take swag, and hopefully volunteer. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Joe Comerford. No, excuse me. Mindy Dobb. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're next. One or the other. We're both going to get your opportunity. Sorry, Mindy.
It's fine. I really meant Joe should go first. Hi, everybody. I'm Mindy Dahm. I'm a candidate. Hi, for state representative from the 3rd Hampshire District, which is Amherst, Pelham, and 1 precinct of Granby. I thought you were giving me a thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you so much. Buttons in the future. I just want to thank you very much for this opportunity. I want to thank PDA for doing this great picnic in the summer and getting scheduling it on the only wonderful, beautiful day so far in August. I think that's a good sign in terms of the election, so I'm going to go with that. I'm here just to have conversations. I don't want to take up too much time, especially because Joe's going up next. But I just want to thank you, and I would be honored to have your vote on September 4th if you're in the 3rd Hampshire District. Thank you.
Well, Mindy.
Thank you, Mindy. Now, old friend Joe Comerford.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joe. I'm running in the State Senate campaign for the Hampshire Franklin Worcester State Senate. And you know, old friend is right. Coming here, I was really reminded of I was reminded of Tim Carpenter, friends. And I just want to raise him up. So Tim Carpenter and Russell and so many people presenting. For Tim, I'm reminded of Tim Carpenter and the work we did together on healthcare when I was at National Priorities Project, and the organizing we did actually around saving Meadowbrook when I was at AFSC, and just a legacy of extraordinary work that PDA has led that I've had the privilege of being part of. And so my heart is full. I'm excited to be here. And I'm really grateful to so many of you. I look around and I see so many of you powering what I call the people-powered campaign that we're running for State Senate. And I'm very, very grateful. And here's to fighting for affordable health care, universal Medicare for all, full funding of public education, and a green economy in Western Massachusetts. Thanks, everybody.
Next, someone we don't recognize. Well, we're from the 1st Congressional District. Here's the representative from the 2nd Congressional District, great Jim McGovern. Jim is a longtime friend of PDA. He's on our board of advisors, and we are just delighted to have him in Congress. Jim.
Well, thank you, Russell, and I want to thank PDA, you have all been an incredible force for progressive causes, not only in this area, but I think you're an example for the entire Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and I'm proud to be associated with you, proud to be at this great picnic, And I was remembering Tim Carpenter too, who is first introduced me to many of you in this in this wonderful setting here today. Look, I don't even know what to say anymore. I mean, I got to be honest with you. It is unbelievable what's happening in this country, and I'm sick and tired of Donald Trump, the tweets, the bigotry, the racism, the sexism. I'm sick and tired of his policies that embrace the rich and turn a cold shoulder to those who are struggling. It is, you know, I mean, I'm sick and tired. I said this just, I shouldn't say it again today, but I was out of words. I'm sick and tired of all this shit, right? I mean, you know, I mean, and to, you know, quote the great civil rights leader Fannie Lou Hamer, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, like all of you here today. And look, we got to win. I mean, that's the cure here. There are incredible candidates here. Yes. I mean, we have, you know, we are unbelievably blessed. They will be wonderful in the state legislature and these statewide offices. But we need to win back the House, and hopefully we can win back the Senate, because there needs to be a check. Yes. We need to have some balance, you know, and we need to be able to do oversight hearings to expose the corruption in this White House. These people are so corrupt they make Richard Nixon look like a Boy Scout. I mean, it's unbelievable. We've never seen this before, right? I mean, we need oversight hearings to look at how they're destroying our environment. All the stuff going on at the EPA. I mean, they all ought to go back to school. Send it back to 3rd grade and learn basic science. Climate change is real. Believe the scientists. All this negativity, all this division, all this polarization. But the reason why I think it is so incredibly important for us to kind of gather around progressive candidates is because I like to believe that if more of us win, we can help restore some decency to our government. You know, I want people to respect our government at the state level and at the federal level. I want them to believe that their elected officials put people first. That their concerns are the concerns of the people that they represent. I think, especially in Washington right now, there is a disconnect. People don't trust what's going on. I mean, Congress's approval rating is in the toilet. I mean, literally. I think toilets rate better than Congress right now. Right? It doesn't have to be that way.
Tell us how you really feel.
It doesn't have to be that way. I mean, you know, we need people who are going to try to unite this country and who are going to fight for things like Medicare for all. I mean, there was a time when you ran for office to try to improve the lives of people. You know, expand health care protections for people, Medicare for all. You know, let's get the money out of politics. If we can't get the Supreme Court to reverse Citizens United, then we ought to move forward with the constitutional amendment to do that all across this country.
Right.
You know, I mean, funding public education. How about an infrastructure bill? I just drove here from Worcester, right? I'm going to tell you. I think we almost, you know, got derailed on a few potholes along the way. But it costs money to do. We need better rail systems. I go on and on. But look, I'll close with saying this. Yeah, and we're spending too much on our military budget. I'm sorry. You know, I mean, we're going to start reassessing what national security needs more than the size of our military budget. It means the quality of education for our people. It means whether people have health care. It means whether we have good roads and bridges. I also believe it means the integrity of our government. So this is it. All right? And I'm here to say thank you, because I bump into a lot of people who complain about what's happening and who tell me how awful it is, and then I ask them, what are you doing? You know, and then sometimes they're a little bit stumped. Well, you are doing something, and you are encouraging people to join in this effort, and I believe I don't want to get cocky here, but I believe we are going to prevail. I believe we are going to win. We're going to take our country back. It's not going to be easy, but we're going to do it. And so I will forever be grateful to all of you in this park and that room. But thank you very much. Oh, one other thing. On September 15th, watch for it. We're going to be doing a town hall with PDA and everybody else with Pramila Jayapal. A wonderful congresswoman who's going to come down. We're going to have a great discussion, so just watch for it.
Where? Can you teach Rich Neal how to do that town hall thing?
I'll pass it on. All right. We don't have a place yet, but we'll get it to you.
Thank thank you.
It's in Northampton. We know the place? It's in Northampton.
In Northampton. So, especially if everybody, gets on the mailing list, and we'll let you know. She's an exciting figure. It'll be really wonderful to have her here in the Valley. Pramila Jaipur. Just want to also announce there's more hot dogs and hamburgers and things that are being cooked over there. Next on the list is Judy Hyde speaking for Bob Massey. Also, if anyone's not on the list, Ryan O'Donnell, I think I'll just put you on, Ryan. I will put. No, you're already on. You're already on. Here's Judy Hyde.
Thanks. So I'm brand new to this kind of political thing. I've never done it before, and I see everybody who spoke before me had no notes. So this is extremely daunting to get up here and tell you why I think Bob Massey is the guy who can beat Governor Baker, or let's say ex-Governor Baker, and just to really represent him as forcefully as I can. I'd never met the guy before. I never heard of him, but I heard Bill McKibben liked him. I went to meet him, and Bill McKibben said, "This is one of the great heroes of our day." And now that I've gotten to know Bob really well, I see why he feels that. And he should know, because he offered Bob his liver for a liver transplant. So that's how Bill feels about Bob. Anyway, this man has the most extraordinary integrity. He doesn't take any PAC money, no corporate money. He's doing it, he's funding with the people, he's being endorsed by the people. It's a people's campaign, and by the way, breaking news, Our Revolution has just endorsed him, as have the Auto Workers Union. That's breaking news. And also Peace Action Massachusetts. So talk about a progressive. I think this is the man who, if he can get together with Elizabeth Warren, has a good chance of turning this whole thing around. So there are materials over there I brought today. I'd love to talk to any of you individually about why I felt I couldn't not get behind this guy. This whoosh went through me of, oh, do I have to do this? Yes, I have to do this. It's the right thing to do. So that's why I'm here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. As what Judy said, of all the candidates that are here, they all need, as I said earlier, money, and they need time. So as PDA, as I said before, a national PAC, we can't endorse any of these candidates, but that doesn't mean that you all can't work for them. So keep that in mind. Jonathan Goldman for Josh Sackham. Last year when there weren't any campaigns going on, we didn't have any number of people like this. Maybe we should have campaigns every year.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's called democracy.
It's called democracy. Poor Joe Comerford will faint, I think.
Hello everyone, my name is Jonathan. I am the Western Mass Regional Field Coordinator for Josh Sackham's campaign for Secretary of State. I think the best way to sell him to you guys is telling you sort of why I threw myself so much into this campaign. So my rep is Peter Kokot, or was Peter Kokot, who recently passed away, and he was the lead sponsor behind the automatic voter registration bill, which recently passed after 3 legislative sessions, though. And when I was working with him on this bill and doing lobbying and talking to other representatives and working with groups like the Young Democrats in Massachusetts, the word that we kept getting is this will not pass until the current secretary supports it and until he says that it sort of has his blessing. After hearing this for 3 months and also learning more about the history of other bills that hadn't come forward or weren't getting pushed through because of a lack of support and leadership and lobbying from the Secretary of State's office, I said, enough is enough. We need to have someone who is going to progress there. It shouldn't be the case that we're the 17th state to, would be the 17th state to have same-day registration. It doesn't make sense for us to be the 14th state to have automatic voter registration. We shouldn't be hoping that we can maybe get mail-in ballots and have no-excuse absentee ballots when we have other states that are leading on that. We shouldn't have a C when it comes to our security in elections. When we're talking about how important these next things are, when we hear a congressman talking about taking back the House, we need to lead when it comes to elections. This is one of the very few opportunities that we're actually having an option in the Secretary of State's race. There are a lot of things that fall underneath this, but elections is one where we can really progress. If you want to get involved with our campaign, we have basically everything that you could think of that you can get involved with over the next 2 weeks. If you don't have that much time, I do have signs in my car, I have buttons, I have, if you want to write a letter to the editor, whatever it is, but I will be going around, get involved with this race. It's really important, and it means we can build up other progressives as well when we expand voting.
Thank you, Jonathan. Eric Nakajima. Thank you. Thanks very much. My name is Eric Nakajima, and I'm running for state representative in the 3rd Hampshire District. And I haven't had a chance to do this very often because since I know that PDA is one of Leo Maley's second homes, I want to take an opportunity to thank him for all the work he's done on my campaign. He's been tireless, he's been dedicated, and I remember last time, with all respect, because I ran last time and came in second, last time Leo kept saying, I love you, but I love a lot of folks in this race, and I can't do anything for you. And this time, when I jumped in, he called me up and he said, whatever I can do, let's work together and let's try to win this thing. So I just really appreciate everything you're doing, Leo. And seeing also Linda Marston and Dennis Brommery here, who were supporters who I first met back with the Western Massachusetts Rainbow Coalition kind of close to 30 years ago. It reminds me how long we've been in this fight. And my generation came of age during Ronald Reagan, came of age during trickle-down economics, neoliberal solutions like charter schools, ignoring climate change. And I've been fighting it ever since, but honestly, if this time in this place, I feel like the wind is at our backs, despite how awful Trump is. When you look at the energy we have all across the country, including in Massachusetts, I feel like we can really finally make a difference in turning around 30, 35 years of failed policies. 40 if you count some of the ones Jimmy Carter had, to be honest. But if you look at the legislature right now, we didn't lift the cap on net metering. We didn't pass the Safe Communities Act. We did nothing this session to turn around funding for public schools and deal with the mess of funding for charter schools, which is destroying a lot of municipal budgets and hollowing out our public education. That's why I'm running. I'm running to turn these things around, and the great thing about PDA is you're a grassroots organization. You're all about people coming together and making a difference. That's what I've tried to do in my life. That's what I've tried to do in the organizations I've worked with, and it's what I want to do as state representative, working with all of you. Thanks so much. Thank you, Eric. Lindsay Schulzen, running for 1st Hampshire.
Lindsay Sabadosa.
Pardon?
Sabadosa.
Sabadosa? No.
Nope, it is, I promise.
I believe you, I just couldn't read it.
Nope, it's a testament to my handwriting. Thank you so much. I will be brief because I'm afraid that the candidates start to blend together at this point in the program. But my name is Lindsay Sabadosa, and I'm running for state representative in 1st Hampshire, which is Northampton, Westhampton, Southampton, Hatfield, and Montgomery. And I am excited to, of course, Progressive Democrats of America can endorse, but I'm excited to have been endorsed by Progressive Democrats of Massachusetts. That's a real privilege and honor. And it makes me want to talk about the word progressive. And I've had this conversation a few times today and with a few of you here. It seems like we have a lot of progressives running all of a sudden, doesn't it? And it's been fascinating on this campaign listening to what some people think that means. You know, there's a progressive agenda. And it's things that I think a lot of us have been fighting for a long time. You know, there's a climate crisis. There's Medicare for all. There's education funding. There's transportation. There's a lot that we need to do. But being a progressive and saying you're a progressive because you check those boxes on policy isn't enough. It is, I think, what Congressman McGovern mentioned, this idea of that people don't feel connected with their government anymore. And that's what we need to change. We need to bring people back into government. I've been excited on my campaign because we have people who are showing up, who are knocking doors, who are making phone calls, who are doing a very, we call them tentacles. They're putting out tentacles and creating relationships. And that's what we need to do, not just for state rep races, but for city council races and mayoral races and gubernatorial races, because that's when we get a real progressive wave and that's when we make some real change. So I'm excited to be part of the movement this year. And I thank you all for letting me take these few minutes to speak, and I look forward to chatting with you after.
Thank you, Lindsay. Deb Levinson's going to talk about the Western Mass Medicare for All.
Hi. Hi, I'm Deborah Levinson. I am co-convener with John Weissman, Western Mass Medicare for All. I am not a candidate. Yeah. But we are promoting Medicare for All in Massachusetts and in the country. We are a regional network. We have loads of support. We know that. But it all depends on organizing that support. And we have to organize it at the grassroots level. We have to organize it locally, regionally, and across the state if we're really serious about moving healthcare as a human right. As I know PDA is, and PDA is part of our effort. Larry's been part of it. Candidates, many of the candidates are backing Medicare for All. But as Lindsay said, sometimes this can mush together. And everybody says, yeah, I support Medicare for All, and then that's all you hear about it. We want people who will really work for it. We think that this is the time for people to really work for it, make a commitment, take it further than an election slogan. One of the things we did toward that end was to invite all the candidates to participate in a survey about single payer and take a deeper dive and let us know what they think about it, what matters to them, what their questions are, what they will do if they're elected. And as I look around, all of the candidates here today did participate in that survey, and we really appreciate it. We don't endorse individual candidates, but we sure support candidates who take the time and the effort to let their constituents know what they really stand for. So we invite you to take a look at that. You can read their actual responses on our website, Western Mass Medicare for All, and it's really worthwhile. The other thing that we're currently doing is we're going to be running non-binding ballot questions in 6 different districts on the November ballot. And this is going to be an opportunity for voters in those 6 districts to let their legislators know that we really mean business on single payer. So we'll, after the primary, we'll sort of ratchet that up more, but we want you all to know, and look forward to working with many of you. Thank you.
Thanks, Deb. Let's see. Ryan O'Donnell, running for state senator. I think Ryan was at the first PDA picnic where it rained most of the time. We were over at Look Park. We had 2 or 3 tents like that. They all fell down, but Ryan persisted.
It was a terrible picnic. You didn't, no, it was a lot of fun. And it's always good, no matter what the weather, because PDA is such a group of such committed, dedicated progressives who want to get something done in our democracy, in our society. Let me say this. What I think progressivism means, in part, is reform. Because we all have similar views on many different things. But the question is, how do we translate that into reality? Now, we have a great member of Congress who fights on behalf of the things that we believe, but the reality is that here at the state level, we need to push back against what we're seeing at the federal level. And I'll give you one example. And that is the deplorable way, I used the wrong word, deplorable, sorry. The shameful way, I say that instead, that this president goes after members of our community who are undocumented. And there was a piece of legislation that was part of the budget that came close to passing.
My experience is not unique. It's who we are as Americans. And it's what the Democratic Party is all about. We have always believed in the little guy. We've always fought for the little guy. We've always understood that the little guy is us, but not Charlie Baker. He's done nothing to help regular people get ahead. And as a result, we are all falling behind. So I'm offering an ambitious agenda to make progress on the challenges holding regular people back and to make Massachusetts a leader again. And I have the leadership experience to deliver on it. So when I'm your governor, we will aim high and we will make a meaningful difference in people's lives. We'll give every child and family in this state access to high quality, affordable child care and preschool by the end of my first term. And we will fully fund our public schools to ensure that every child, every single child has access to a great public education. We will be much more aggressive in taking on the opioid epidemic. We will have a transportation system. Here's a crazy idea for you. I'm going to test this out on you. A transportation system across this entire state that people can actually depend on to get to work on time. Crazy, right? We will make the investments we need to make all over this state, and I will fire Keolis, the private operator of the commuter rail system. We will deliver a single-payer healthcare system that's simpler, cheaper, and does a better job keeping people healthy. This is a former health insurance CEO telling you we need to get rid of health insurance companies, and when I'm governor, we will. We will aim high to take on climate change, for affordable housing, debt-free college, stronger gun laws, expanded opportunities for women and communities of color, taking on sexual assault and harassment. And most important, we will aim high when it comes to how we treat people. I will stand up for every single person in this state. I will see you and hear you and respect you. And while I will operate from the head, I will lead from the heart. Now there's going to be a very clear choice in this election. It's not going to be a lot of gray. It's going to be a choice between someone who's only there for the privileged and the powerful and someone who will fight for the little guy. A choice between someone who is dragging Massachusetts backwards and someone who will make Massachusetts a leader again. Now indulge me for a couple more minutes, if it's okay, because I want to talk about something I know is on all of your minds. How are you going to beat this guy? Right? He's so popular. He's really tall. I know you're thinking it. Well, tall is overrated, right, Corrine? Yes. And it's easy to be popular when you don't do anything. And you never take a stand. And your whole approach to the job is being cautious instead of courageous. Think about it. What has Charlie Baker actually accomplished that's made a difference in people's lives? When I ask people who say they think he's doing a good job why they think so, the answer is always something like, pause. He seems nice. And I'm really glad he isn't one of those crazy Republicans. Aren't we so lucky? Well, when did the measure of whether our governor's doing a good job become that he's nice and isn't crazy? I'll tell you when. November 2016 is when that happened. And Charlie Baker takes advantage of it. He hides behind the chaos Trump creates. With the bar so low, he hopes we will all just be grateful he isn't crazy like our president. Well, we deserve more from our governor. Not being crazy is not good enough. It's not good enough. And don't believe all the insiders who say Baker can't be beat. The media, the special interests, the pundits, they don't decide who our governor's going to be. We decide that. We decide. Now, I know that I am the little guy in this election. Literally and figuratively. I know that. But I also know that time and time again, little guys overcome overwhelming odds when their cause is just. They aim high, work hard, and support each other along the way. That's the lesson my parents taught me. It's the American story. It's what the people of Massachusetts have proven over and over again. We have a strong grassroots campaign and lots of momentum. Thousands of volunteers and supporters all across this state. And thanks to some of you here today at the Democratic State Convention, we are in the endorsement of the Democratic Party with over 70% of the vote. Thank you. But we need your help. If you haven't already, please join our team. Knock on some doors. Make some calls. Vote for us at the primary on September 4th. Do whatever you can, because with your help, I am 100% confident we will win this election. We will make Massachusetts a leader again, and we will make a meaningful difference for all the little guys out there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay. All right, I have 3 requests. 1, the donation basket will go around. If everybody could fill it up with green things, that would be really great. 2, I would love everybody to stand outside and we could take a group picture. And 3, eat dessert. So if we could do first, fill the basket, 2, take a picture, 3, eat dessert, have a good time. Again, thanks everybody for coming.